Hi guys, it's the weekend. Actually, it's Friday night for me, Sunday night for everybody else. And you know what a party animal I am, so I dug out my this old fallow planter in front of the house, and I'm going to build a self-watering planter with a automatic watering system. So all I'll need to do is basically plant, weed, fertilize, but not worry about watering. That'll be cool. This is the east side of the house, so it gets the morning sun up to about 11. So in the hottest part of the summer, this is going to be a good spot for the for greens that generally bolt, because all of my other greens have bolted. And so basically this is going to be a good place for that. We dug all those rocks out of out of that bed. Whoever put this bed in wasn't very careful about what kind of soil they put in. I put all the soil on the Hugo bed, and I'm going to build the self-watering planter, and good times. Well, it's not exactly a hammer drill, but it pounded a hole in there. That'll be my drain. Alright, so far so good. These cinder blocks will be supporting the deck which holds the soil, and this pond liner will allow about a 6-inch level of water inside this whole planter here. And then the soil, it'll wick up, because I'll have some of these pockets here will be filled with soil, and then it will just start coming up. Then the plants, as they're planted, they can shoot a root down into the water reservoir, and they'll have all the water they need. I just went through the hardware store looking for something I could make a drain out of for the reservoir, and I came up with this, and well, we'll see. This is not what these things are intended for. And I also want to have a screen here to prevent slugs from setting up camp in the inside of my reservoir and eating the roots of my plants. I ran into that. It didn't seem to bother the plants oddly enough, but basically it's probably not good to have them down there. I mean, if they're eating something, and their manure could conceivably provide nitrogen to the plants, but I don't know. So I just prefer to keep them out of there. So we'll see how this works. Well, what do you know? Sometimes things work out. We'll have to work it in there a little bit better. That will do it. And then all I'll have to do is cut a hole in the liner and screw this puppy on. Excellent. Fits like a glove. That will be a good drain. So if I ever have to fill it manually, I'll know if it's full by water coming out of the drain, like any normal self-watering planter. Okay, this completes the reservoir and the soil platform support phase of the project. And now I will go on to making the platform. Okay, the platform is down. This will be what supports the soil. I used some vinyl covered fencing material, and the concrete blocks should support it pretty evenly. Okay, next step is to cut some holes in these fences on alternating pockets, and then basically that will allow the soil to drop down into the hole and be covered with water, causing the sponge action to wick the moisture up into the main part of the bed. And also the plants will have plenty of holes once I punch some holes in this pond liner material, and that will allow it to shoot some roots down even if it's not over one of those holes, and then it can have all the water it wants. Okay, blew the dust off my old automatic watering system for my earth boxes, which are like one of the original self-watering planters. Then I shortened this tube a little bit so that we will have about 5 inches of water level. Yeah. And then I stuck this little piece of screen around it, and I'll smoosh it over here and throw a wire tie around it to keep critters from invading my earth boxes or my planter. When I had my earth boxes at the condo, I kept wondering where all these slugs were coming from, because I had a lot of slug damage, and I discovered that they were hiding down in this little watering tube, and then coming up at night and eating my salad for me. So that screen should prevent that. Okay, hooked up the automatic watering system. Modified the level so that it should give us a reservoir level constantly of 5 inches. And that little overflow is set at 6 inches, so if it comes splattering out of there, I'll know that the valve is no longer working on this, and I'll have to get another one. And then I guess I might as well test it. There it is, water's starting to flow into the system. Good times. And I bored a hole through a lot of these concrete blocks just so that water could flow easily in and out. This whole thing is sort of an experiment, although I've used waterless planters, self-watering planters, and this automatic system over at the condo probably 5 or 6 years now. They seem to work pretty well. My only concern is that the limestone in the concrete blocks might make the water kind of alkaline, so we'll see if that's a problem, or at least it might happen at first. So hope it won't be too much of a problem. People make planters out of these things all the time, so we'll see. trimming the pond liner to fit the bed. This is what the soil is going to sit on. Okay, the punched about 1.5 billion little holes in the pond liner, punched the large wicking holes for the soil that'll be down in there to wick moisture up, cut a couple of holes, one for the automatic watering system sensor and fill tube, and one for any additional liquid fertilizers, or to do a level check like a dipstick or whatever, just to make sure that the level is correct. And it's pretty much ready for the soil. Now I'm going to go down to a local farm store, pick up some potting mix, because that's what really is useful for wicking. Then I might add a little bit of compost along the top. I believe my compost here at the house, almost said condo, is ready. So I am going to go get it. Found a use for this bolted salad. I will use that as a base on the new planter to keep the loose soil from dropping down into the holes. Once some semblance of life is established in that potting mix, then this stuff here will rot away and the soil will hold together. If you look at healthy soil, it's kind of crumbly and has little nodules and things holding it together, little bits of mycelium, keeping all the little crumbly bits from falling apart, and then that would prevent it from dropping through the holes to any large degree. So this will be a base to prevent that. Okay, I do believe that since this compost is now cool to the touch, I believe it is finished, or if not finished, real close. So I'm going to go ahead and use it. Now it's time to see if this, if my compost tumbler design is going to work. I designed this platform so that I could throw a wheelbarrow under it and then drop the finished compost directly into the wheelbarrow. So let's see if it goes into the wheelbarrow or if I end up wearing it. Wore some of it. Okay, the compost layer is down, and it looks like there are a couple of little things in there. For example, there's a piece of an old potato, and apparently that didn't quite break down. Maybe it wasn't cooked. I tried to keep potatoes out of the, non-cooked potatoes out of the mix, because it might carry diseases that might transfer to my own potatoes. But that might be what happened. So, oh well. I've got a lot of woody material in here still, so hopefully it won't suck up the nitrogen too bad. And now I will add the potting mix, or the potting soil. Oops. Okay, guess I better let Dad in. Okay, got the potting soil down, and now I'm going to throw some wood chips across the top, maybe an inch, to prevent evaporation or slow it way down. And then we'll be able to decide what to plant in here. Fun stuff. Okay, I took a moment to break up the soil so that it will be a little easier to plant into. And now I'm going to go get the mulch. Okay, that didn't require as much wood chips as I thought. I only wanted about an inch, so I'll be able to brush aside the wood chips and expose the soil so that I'll be able to plant into it. And then once the sprouts start coming up, once they get up above the wood chip level, I'll just close it in, and that'll prevent evaporation, and the chips will break down over the years and add fertility to the soil. Good times. Got my automatic watering system right there. It's currently filling. I don't know if you can hear it. And then once it stops gurgling, I'll pull the screen off of this one right here and do a level check and make sure it's about 5 inches. Because if I got it too high, I will notice water leaking out of this drain hole that I bored. Then I need to reset the level sensor on the watering system down a little bit farther, and then it will be correct. Okay, now all I need to do is decide what to plant in here.